Hello, 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 world. Hello, everyone who is listening to our podcast or watching on YouTube. This is Rise with Shine, and my name is Shine. I am your main host. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Super excited that you guys are here. It's going to be an incredible episode. This is the last episode, guys, of season 1. But we are not done. This episode is going to be really cool. I am here with my incredible season 1 co-hosts. How are you doing, Elisha?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I'm really excited. Kind of
I
sad
know.
because it's the last one.
The last one.
It's been really fun,
I
so
know.
excited for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, Kel?
Yeah, I'm doing good and really excited also for this episode. It's been a really good season. So, yeah.
So good. Yeah. Liz.
I'm doing great. I'm so excited. We're gonna dig deep in this episode. I'm really looking forward to it. Also kinda
Teary-eyed. Are you
but
sad?
it's gonna be fun.
I know.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. Dorin?
Doing good. It's been a
Yeah.
great season. We've talked about so much, such great conversations, open and honest. So I'm pumped about today.
You guys look good, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
know,
So do you.
matching,
So do you.
matchy,
You
matchy.
too.
I
I
love
know,
it.
right? I love our mood board.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Really excited. So, what did you guys do?
We had a
What
little
was that?
moment.
We got a you guys had a little moment.
I felt like a child, like boogity boogity.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Rocket
Oh,
power.
yeah,
Hello.
I didn't feel bad.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Do not leave me alone in this feeling right now.
No,
Make sure we edit that in.
I know, right? All right. Well, hey, we are your favorite and only Dutch-based, English-spoken, multicultural, female talk show on the internet.
Oh snap.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
we
that's
are.
so
We
dope.
are.
Yeah, we are.
And we are gonna go into this conversation. So I want to talk about insecurities of a woman. You know, I think that's something that we all deal with. Not only women, men. We all have our insecurities. But I kind of want to dig deeper into the idea of having those insecurities. I was reading on a website, and the title was "Common Insecurities of a Woman." And it was actually saying this. It says that a lot of common insecurities is first, how we look like. Second is our age. Third is weight. And the fourth thing was career. So is that something you guys see as common insecurities that we kind of all have?
I feel like I'm ticking
Yeah.
all the boxes.
Hey,
Yeah.
Like, wait.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
weight and the way
Yeah.
we look are two different boxes?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is weight different than just
I think it is,
yeah?
I think it is.
Yeah, probably.
How do you see that?
Yeah.
Maybe just genetics.
Well, I have good genes, but I still have baby fat. So those are two different things.
Okay, that might yeah. All right. But do you guys think those are like common insecurities that a lot of
Yeah.
people have?
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I could definitely say that we all deal with it, like you guys deal with it as well. So what is another insecurities like besides this one that you guys have?
Maybe in relationships.
Mm.
But I think that also has something to do with feeling insecure about your appearance, your body, or being enough, your career. I think those things for me.
So could you say that like from your own experience, like in relationships, that there are moments where you feel quite insecure about those things?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been like super, skinny and fit. I was always like the chubby kid or sibling at home and in school. So that really, and especially right now with social media and everything, there's like this societal standard of what beauty is. And then you really like, subconsciously, or you don't want to, but it just happens that you start comparing yourself to that. And oh, hey, realizing that you don't look like that. So then you're probably not beautiful, or you're probably not desirable for a man, like in a relationship. Then I'm talking about that. So yeah, I struggled with being secure about my shape for a long time. Yeah, it didn't even matter, because sometimes I would you know, go to the gym and get fit, and then I would gain it back, and then like this cycle. But in either shapes, I would still feel sort of insecure because of comparing. And that's something I have learned to deal with and let go and really accept that this is who I am, this is me, and it's beautiful to be different, to be unique, to just embrace the body that God gave you, to embrace how you look, and that I'm more than my outward appearance. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that. So, what about you guys? Do you have what are insecurities that you guys have?
Yeah, I think that one thing that I always had is I never want to look stupid. Maybe it sounds so crazy,
No,
but
yeah.
that's really, and actually it makes it harder in my head sometimes that you do things and you rethink I had to set it like this, or I had to set that instead of. So yeah, I think I struggled a little bit. Now I can handle it a little bit more, but it's like how I come over. In a way, I don't know why I have it, but I've always you have to I want to have my things like put together, and yeah, it gives a little bit of a pressure also, and it makes me insecure in a way. Yeah.
I can totally relate to that actually, because yesterday actually I was talking to a good friend of mine, and we were talking about feeling a little bit of insecurity when someone says something and it's very intellectual, and they just they know what they're talking about, and then you just feel like, oh, like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that could definitely trigger just an insecurity that comes up there, where you're like, oh, I just kind of feel stupid in this moment. But at the same time, when I have those moments, then I also think like, oh, that is also something that I can work on, because this is my insecurity, and it doesn't have anything to do with maybe, that person being just very, that person just knows about that topic or that certain subject. So it's not about that person. It's just kind of how I deal with that or how I handle it. But sometimes, I can definitely relate to that for sure. Yeah. What do you have?
Yeah, wow. This is deep.
What do you have?
It's deep. We're going deep.
For me, I think I always want to look strong, and I want people to look at me as strong. And I feel like people in my life do that because a lot of my friends, they come to me for advice or tell me about their problems, and I talk to them about theirs. But I mean, I rarely talk about mine because I was always the person like, I don't need to ask questions. I got this, I'm in a rough patch right now. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do this. It'll fly by, And so I think that's something that I struggle with, always wanting to look strong, always wanted to look, presented in a nice way. You know what I mean? And I think I'm learning. And I also have learned over the years to ask questions, to tell someone if something is not working out. It takes me a little bit of time, all right? But
A work in progress.
Work in progress.
Okay, we're all work in progress.
But yeah, I think that's it mainly for me. But I've never really had bodily insecurities. I literally talked to a friend of mine about this a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about weight, and he's on a health journey and everything. So, and I was talking to him, I was like, I feel like I'm the heaviest I've ever been right now, but sometimes I wish I had like a tad more insecurity so I'd have the motivation to actually go to the gym and do something about it. And then he was like, no, but it's about your health. It's not about the way that you look and everything. So I'm like, okay, you're right. That's the truth. So February.
2021.
2022. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. But I'm going to start on a health journey soon, not for the way I look, because I don't feel insecure about the way I look. Even I have friends who have like beautiful bodies and they're skinny and the booty's big and everything.
It's popping.
It's popping.
It's popping.
But
So is yours, though.
I mean,
Yeah, girl.
thank you.
Just saying.
But I think I've had. I mean, if I'm really honest, of course I've had moments where I was like, oh snap, I need to lose some weight or whatever. But it literally with me, it's always like a split second, and I'm like, you a bad girl, honey. Don't worry about nothing. You look good. What are you talking about? So I think, I think that's it for me.
But I love that you're so. I think
that's
I love it.
that's what makes a woman beautiful.
Thank
when
you.
she can just walk into a room.
It doesn't matter the shape.
Yeah.
It's just the confidence that how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and you portray that.
yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm inspired.
I
I'm like,
receive that.
Wow.
Oh, I feel the love
Yes.
here right now.
I love
Yes,
that.
but that's my thing as well. I've written it down on my Rise with Shine card.
Okay, hello.
But-
You bring it out and show it to the camera
Yes.
for everyone.
But
Publicity.
I've written it down because I feel like I love it when I love complimenting other women, and I love being like, oh, I love those shoes, or I love your hair, or whatever. And a lot of times we as women were like, oh no, oh girl, this is only €2. So, oh, this whole thing, I have this for 10 years.
Why do we always say that?
I know.
Why do we do that?
Like maybe that's a Dutch thing as well to do.
I don't know.
Like where we
man.
make excuses for like spending some money on ourselves. almost. I don't know. Just keep going.
I don't know. No, I think it's universal. I think all women do it or have done it at some point. And I did it as well. And then I had this moment like, I receive your compliment. Thank you. Like, it's not a bad thing to be like, okay, you know, I before the episode, everyone, I told Doreen her hair looks really good. And she was like, oh, I don't really like it this way. And we were like completely on topic because her hair looks beautiful and she looks
you are
beautiful.
so
and,
beautiful.
you know,
Thanks,
it's
girl.
just, and it's sometimes it's just hard for us to actually receive something good about ourselves because we can be so hard on ourselves.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
can
a
be
lesson
very
for
hard.
everyone that is watching or listening, and for us here at the table to be nice to yourself. You know,
kind.
And
Seriously,
I feel like
love that.
in our community, like we are all Christians, and sometimes people can display like fake humility, like. Oh, me? Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Give me more. Give me more. Stop. You know, it's all God. It's all.
Oh yeah,
glory to
praise
God.
and say that.
Praise
Oh,
Yes.
well, praise the Lord. You know.
And some people do it because, I mean, let's be really real. Like some people just are fake, but some people really do because they don't know how to handle receiving a compliment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And this is with everyone. Like, just
Yeah.
imagine going on the street and going to a random person and just saying, "Hey, I like your shoes," or "Hey, I love your hair." That person will just look at you like, "Why
Are you gonna steal?
Yeah.
Why are you talking to
They just
me?"
feel super uncomfortable.
feel
They don't even
super
know what to say.
uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
I do
But
have
I
that.
always say like, I've heard this somewhere and I've really claimed it and I'm trying to share it with as many people as I can. But I heard someone say like, take every compliment if you're a Christian, and also if you're not a Christian, just take every compliment like a rose, and then at the end of the day, lay it before God as a bouquet. Like, God, thank
that's
you for
nice.
these things that are beautiful
love
about
that.
me
Wow.
because you
Absolutely
created
love
that. And
that.
you know, I'm grateful for the way that I look or the way that I am or a character trait that someone else appreciates, you know?
That's great.
And I think, and that's what made me think like, I receive it. Thank you. Or you think I look beautiful? Oh, I receive that.
Yeah.
And don't be shy to walk past the mirror and be like, yes, girl, you're doing it today. You know what I mean? Or boy.
Sometimes it's good
Right?
to just
Yeah.
look at yourself
I
and be like,
look
"Oh,
good
hey,
today.
Yes.
hey, girl, you look good." You
Yeah.
know? Love that.
Sometimes when I was really struggling with my self-image and everything, I would just write down on my mirror
Oh, yeah.
encouragements
That's
to
good.
myself
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
and scriptures, and I would just read it. And at first, it really felt fake. It felt like I didn't believe it. And then the more you do it, the more you become open to receiving it, and you start believing it, because it's also like a very mental thing. To
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
affirmations.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
But I
is.
feel
it's
like
a mindset.
I feel like for us, because we're maybe older, we learn about those things and to encourage to have these encouragement cards. But then, for instance, when I look at teenagers or kids who deal with insecurities, like I remember for me, so honestly, like it makes me cry kind of, but because I dealt with eczema for years, and I was, I think I don't even know, like maybe 6 or 7, and it was all over my body. And for me, it was very hard for years. And I just remember, I remember once actually is that I liked this boy, and he liked me back, and so we were kind of kids, and so it was like, oh, we're in love, all that stuff. But then I remember very vividly that there were a few kids around us, and they were basically saying, oh, well, you shouldn't, give her a kiss on her cheek because she has eczema,
Wow.
And honestly, like that
Yeah.
moment for me was actually very hard. And I dealt with that for years, that I didn't even, every time, I liked a guy or whatever, I would immediately think about that conversation that these other kids would say, oh, he's not gonna like you because you have things on your face or you have eczema or whatever. And so like that stings. Like
Yeah.
those things really sting. And
that stays with you.
Yeah, exactly.
oh yeah, for sure. And it became only like years after learning, okay, my identity is not in what other people think.
Yeah.
It's really in what God says about me. That I had to learn, okay, I'm just gonna be okay with this. And thank God, I got really healed from all of the eczema. But definitely there are moments where I still have to, where I still think back about that situation. And that's so mean because honestly, some kids can be very mean.
Yo.
Like there's so much bullying going
Yeah.
on. There's so much like cyberbullying on the internet, and like these kids grow up and they look at
They grow up with
they
insecurities from
yeah.
a
But there
very
you
young
see
age.
the power of words, and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it's like you have it with kids, but also as grown ups, sometimes you really you really have to think about what you say to others,
Yeah.
because sometimes you can highlight something about another person, and that person will stick with that.
Yeah.
And in every situation that, like for example the eczema example, but you have a lot of things, maybe you tell someone I don't know, your Dutch is not good or things like that, and it sticks and
It becomes amplified
it
in their
becomes
lives.
like
Yeah.
a
Did you?
total reality.
I get when I just got here in the Netherlands and my Dutch wasn't that great. I would always get teased by like my classmates or just Dutch people, but it would be hard because you get insecure instead of like feeling comfortable and learning to talk and just like practicing it. You start to like you draw back to the background because you're like, my Dutch isn't that great, so I'd rather than not speak because then they're gonna make fun of me.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
how
that was
works.
hard,
Yeah.
and words are very powerful.
Yeah, but I think that's also like you will always have people that will say things to you. So I think you have to kind of learn, and that's like the level of insecurities that you have on a certain in a certain area, that you have to learn sometimes to kind of block those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it really is like, for example, I mentioned like I don't like it to feel dumb. So if someone tells me something in that area, then I can choose to like feed it and make it bigger in my head,
Love that.
or
Exactly.
that
That's
I'm like,
good.
no, okay, I can make a mistake, or and I think that's really
That's
important on doing that. Because we
you're
make things so big.
Because you yourself, how you receive it is you actually add the weight to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do
Because
that.
if a stranger on the streets tells me something, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's someone that's
Close
closer
to
to
you,
you,
then
yeah,
it really
ooh,
stings.
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
can really sting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why can't we also do that? It's something you need to practice, I think, to not let it affect you as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read that the things you recognize in other people as like not so great are usually things you struggle with yourself. So when people, point out
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
weaknesses, it's probably also something that they're struggling with. So I really like what you say, Kelly.
Yeah.
Like, do you let it affect you or just
Yeah.
you know, but I find it so weird how the things we're insecure about, the moment we come in a situation where that insecurity is brought up again, whether it's by a person or just our own, how that becomes so amplified in our lives.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is that? It's crazy.
But how is that for you actually in marriage? Like, do you feel like as partners you can really help each other and encourage one another in those insecurities?
Yeah, well, that would probably, I guess, also depend on your marriage. But I feel super safe with my husband. So I actually love it when he shares stories, or he explains stuff to me that I have no clue about, and it's probably the other way around as well. So actually yesterday we were talking about stocks, and I have no idea what's. I don't have any ideas about trading. So he explained it to me, and I was like, I felt a little bit like, silly, which is an understatement, but I learned something, and because it's in a safe environment, and he would never be degrading, it was fine. So, and I think that's key in that situation.
And I actually love that. Do you feel, because you said you feel safe, like you feel safe to also talk and share about your insecurities and those things? And that's what
important.
that's super important to feel, a safe space where you can share about certain insecurities. Like, do you feel like it's hard for you guys to even talk about your insecurities or lay it out there, be open about it?
It
Other
really
people?
depends.
Yeah,
It
depends on the
depends.
person
Yeah.
as well.
Who you're talking
It
to.
depends who in what for setting you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you would share your insecurity, and at one point that person's like, well, I kind of understand why you would feel like that, and they kind of like let it backfire on you, that would make me feel like not safe at all with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, like, for example, certain things in a business environment or at work, I will not show certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for example, also that being always, having
Yeah.
a certain look, or that you are strong, that you're. Then in certain environments, you don't want to show that because you have the feeling that it can be used against you.
Well, that's really interesting, actually.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Because is that the way it's supposed to be?
Actually, not.
It's
but
a game everyone
yeah.
plays, I think. And like, if you're the only one who's like being vulnerable and like, having all your laundry out there for everyone to see, like, I don't think, unfortunately, that will work in your advantage.
Yeah, but then I feel like when you especially look at the workspace, like, what if you're in a situation where it's a very unhealthy workspace, but no one talks about it, like why or what the people are dealing with? Like, that doesn't really help the workspace.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So then you actually have to open up, be
Yeah.
like, hey, like, this is what I feel like, this is what's going on. Do you guys resonate with that? And often, probably more people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I kind of felt that
Yeah.
too, but I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I
So-
think when it comes to your own insecurities,
Yeah.
like, I think you'd have to be really wise about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone has a mask on. They say, I think in Asian culture, they say you have 3 faces. So it depends on the setting that you always show a certain part. And I think it's part to mask certain insecurities.
So do you feel like a mask in itself is then not necessarily wrong to have? Like, how do you see a mask then?
Yeah, I think it's how society is built, that it seems like you can never be 100% you in a way. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always myself. I just choose which parts
Yeah.
you see.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Because I never
show
want to be
everyone.
fake. I
Yeah.
don't have the energy to be fake.
Nobody got the time for that.
Too much drama.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like,
It's exhausting.
if I just met you, you're just going to see the fun side, because I'm not going to talk to you about the things that I struggle
Yeah.
with or the things that make me angry. And
Yeah.
I don't even know you that well for you to make me angry and see that side of me. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly, yeah.
But if it's someone like a really good friend or a family member, I feel like the family members, they really get to see like the good, bad, and the ugly. And
Because you just can't fake it.
exactly.
cannot.
You
Like-
can't even hide.
Even if you try,
even hide.
like, within 5 minutes, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like their sixth sense or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's not really that you're being fake, but for example, if you're really
choose which-
sad
Yeah.
and you want to cry or you're going to, it's not that you're like laying it down, you
Yeah.
know, everywhere. So you really choose, like, in what for environment
Yeah,
yeah,
you do
totally.
that.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
So it's like
I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
I think that's very healthy,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
To know, okay, so in this space, these people are,
can trust-
I
I
can
can
trust these
trust them
people, and I
with-
can talk more
Yeah.
to these people about certain things. And with other, in other spaces or with other people, it's different. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
also,
totally get that.
I've talked to some people who are dealing with extreme insecurity, like about their bodies, about their personality. Like they compare every single thing about someone else. They compare to themselves, and in a negative way. And I was talking to this person, and she said to me, "I don't always want advice.
You just want to be heard sometimes.
Sometimes you just need a listening ear, because a lot of the times when you're talking to someone who is dealing with like crazy insecurity, all you want to do is help the person and go, you're beautiful. No, you can do it. Actually, no, this is for God is for you, and all that stuff. But those people have heard that so many times before, and to them, sometimes it can just be, it's just words. It's just air. You know, it doesn't, they don't really absorb that kind of information because it won't fix them. So all you can do, what we would do as Christians, we would pray for the person and speak life to the person, but go on a journey with the person. Try to do something with the person, like you said, writing the Post-its with like, I am confident, I am beautiful, stuff like that. Try to find like actual concrete ways to help someone instead of just saying. And I know like words are powerful and they can speak life and death, but sometimes for people who their mindset is just so set on their insecurity, they won't receive it that way. So, and that's sometimes really hard. And I've also learned sometimes to let go a little bit and support from afar. And that is if you've done like a lot already to help the person, talk to the person, but there's only so much you can do. Like in some cases, some people really need professional help.
Definitely.
And there's only so much you can say. And sometimes it can also get to the point where it's draining you. For instance, if it's a friend, then it can be draining you because you're just so concerned about this person and you want to help the person, but they also need to go on the journey by themselves sometimes.
Someone
You
also
can only
needs,
hold their hand for
they
a
need to
certain
be
amount of
open
time.
to
they need to be
receiving.
open to receive help.
Yeah.
And not
Yeah.
everyone is open for
everyone.
help.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not ready.
And that doesn't only count for the people you're talking to, but also for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, because we all deal with insecurities.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
And just being like, okay, admitting that, okay, I cannot do this on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just need some help.
yeah, for sure.
That's okay. Like, that's also sometimes really necessary to be able to conquer those insecurities.
And it's
Because
not. I
sometimes
don't
you
think
can't see it.
It's not also a weak thing.
It
It's
isn't.
actually a sign of strength.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
If you are
It
like,
say
hey,
that, yeah.
actually, I need
It
help.
is.
Then let's go. Like, let's get some help. To be honest, to be very honest, and like we're just real here. I go to therapy, and I love it, and it's good. I feel like everyone needs therapy.
That's true.
Like, it's good. Like, honestly, go get counseling if you need it. You know, go see a coach. Go, you know, if you need a mentor in your life. Oh man, like all of those things are signs of strength. Because the strength is saying like, hey, actually, I'm not really doing so well. I need help.
Yeah.
And I love that actually. And that is not an insecurity.
Yeah.
That's a sign that you actually want to learn and that you want to grow.
And I think people have to talk more about that.
Yeah.
Because in certain times it was going to a psychologist was like, what?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
I ain't going.
You're losing your mind. That's the only excuse or reason you have to go to a
Yeah.
therapist. But
Yeah.
that
But I think
really-
people
yeah.
are more open to also like do that more nowadays, and it's so good because you're
So good.
working on yourself, and it's not only helping yourself but everyone around you.
Yeah,
Because if you're not
100%.
good, it's
Yeah.
like it influences everyone in your surroundings.
Yeah.
And we deal with a lot as
Yeah.
women. Like
Right?
we're sitting here at a table with women in all different walks of life. Doreen had 2 children. Like
Dang.
applause for you. I applaud you.
I applaud myself.
Yes. I mean, your body goes through so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Like I got to have an up close look with my sister having a child. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's so much that happens, and then you still have to fix the relationship, and you have to get everything ready,
This-
and
That's-
you know, you're going to therapy now, and everything that you're dealing with in your life, and I bet you're dealing with stuff in your life, and you and it's
Everyone.
a lot happen, and a lot of people expect something from you. You have to be a sister, a daughter. You have to have a good career. You have to look, you have to look well. You have to present
Yeah.
yourself in a nice way. You have to have goals. You need to
You know.
get your teeth cleaned and all that stuff.
Girl, fix yourself.
Fix your teeth.
No, but that's I love that point.
Yeah.
And but that's what I think that we should actually do. We should empower one another more. We should
Yes.
empower, like, just lift each other up as women. Like, that's so important. And that's really about, that's really what this conversation is about. We want to empower other women. We want to lift each other up. So again, like, we just don't want to talk the talk. We don't want to just have conversations, but we want to walk the walk. So we're, as well as every episode, we're going to give you 5 ways, how to really empower women around us. I think that would really encourage our listeners. So how can we empower women? 5 ways. And there are probably a lot more, but we're going to give 5. We're no experts, but yeah, we just want to encourage you. So one way how to really empower the women around us.
Yeah, I think it's super good to point out each other's strengths and encourage each other.
Yeah.
And I've been actually practicing this with a really good friend of mine. And just it doesn't even have to be the biggest achievement, you know, just a small thing. Because sometimes it's just even hard to just make your bed or fold your clothes.
Yeah.
And if that is your goal for that day, you'd be like, and you got it done. She would be like, look at you go. You're on a roll. That's great. You're doing great. And then it just lifts you up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I love that.
that's super important to just empower each other by focusing not on everything that is not going well, but fixing your eyes on what you are doing.
Yeah.
And that it's strong, that it's good, that it will drive you to keep going and doing better.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah, I reckon, being gracious towards each other and compassionate, like, it really comes from
Love that.
realizing that,
Yeah.
each of us, we have such complex lives, but usually we just think about ourselves, We're like, oh, well, this is what I'm dealing with, and this is what I have to do, and da-da-da. And we don't realize, hey, wait, your life is as complex. And just thinking about that over and over, like, each day, and, like, every person you come across, it just helps you to, what you're saying, encourage and point out the great stuff, but just also be compassionate and gracious.
Yeah, I love that point.
Yeah.
I think it's also good to just listen.
Yeah.
We already said that in this conversation, but it's just listening to someone. If someone comes up to you and shares their story or insecurity or things that they're dealing with, just have a listen. You don't always have to give advice straight away, but just be there for the person, have an open ear. Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah, I would say compliment each other, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
And, also there's a thing with jealousy. And a lot of women are really mean to each other. And, I feel like just because something is happening for another girl in your same field doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there's no space for you. It doesn't mean that
You're less.
you're less. It's not a
Yeah.
race, There's space for you.
Definitely.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah, it's
everyone
not a
has their own
race.
race. So
It's not a
I
race.
feel like
It's not a pie, it's a river.
yeah. Yes.
That's a good one.
That's a word.
There's more.
Yeah. Just because it's happening for someone else doesn't mean it can happen for you.
Yeah,
So
love
be
it.
kind and compliment each other.
Compliment.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, actually, you started with my point. Yeah, be kind to
Transition.
each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think everyone struggles and everyone goes through things. So by being kind to each other, it's like you're helping someone instead of being nasty and jealous and trying to think that we are on a race. We're not in a competition.
Yeah, for sure. I love that one. Be kind to one another. Well, I think that there are definitely way more ways how to empower women, but I think these 5 ways, I think, can really encourage our listeners. So I hope you are encouraged because, again, this show is for you. We want to inspire you. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversations. And keep joining our conversations outside of these episodes. You can leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you think. Even about this subject, insecurities. Like, tell us something. What is your story? We want to know. So join our conversation. And this was the last episode, guys.
Crazy.
Season
one.
one. Season one is done.
Season
But
Yes.
season
wrap.
2 is on its way.
And you've done
It's
such
on
a
its-
good job.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
seriously. You, I'm
Yes,
so
thank
proud of
you.
you. This is a
Aw.
dream of yours, and we're so happy and
Yeah.
grateful to be
Uh,
living
Part of
your
it.
dream.
I am excited to.
Living a dream.
I'm excited for
Yeah.
you guys to be a part of it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I loved every
This has been beautiful.
conversation. More to come. Season 2 is on its way. And to every person listening, we hope you love this season. And thank you guys so much for listening. Please subscribe to our channels, our podcasts, leave a review, subscribe on our YouTube channels. And again, thank you for listening. One more thing, you can also support our show by joining our Patreon family. Join our family. We would love for you
Join
to
us.
join our
Show some
family.
love.
Yes, so Patreon is where we post exclusive content, extra interviews with our guests. We have some behind the scenes footage that I'm pretty sure you want to see. We have some awesome things on Patreon and discount on our merch, etc., etc. So thank you guys again for listening and watching our show. Season 1 is done.
Yes.
It's a wrap.
And
Signed
it's
and
a
sealed.
wrap.
It's a
Yes.
wrap. Yeah.
All right. We hope you loved it. This is Rise to Shine. See you next time.